US dollars per kg compared to 2.65 per kg for the same period of last year. The report comes hot on the heels of the Kenya Tea Development Agency's announcement of reduced bonus payments to smallholder tea farmers following a decline in international tea prices. Equity Group Holdings has entered into a share purchase agreement with George Arthur Forrest to purchase 66.53% of the shares held by Forrest family in Banque Commerciale du Congo. Now, the agreement, which is still subject to approval by Commerce Competition Commission, specifies that Equity Group Holdings will pay 10.5 billion shillings for the 354 shares to be purchased, inclusive of dividends declared after 1st January 2019. Equity Group Holdings PLC CEO, Managing Director Dr. James Mange has said the deal represents an opportunity for the group to take further steps towards delivery of its vision of building Sub-Saharan Africa's premier institution through delivering innovative products and services to customers by leveraging on the effective use of technology. Banque Commerciale du Congo is a public limited company licensed by the Central Bank of Congo in DRC. Once the transaction, which is subject to regulatory approvals from the Central Bank of Kenya and Banque Centrale du Congo, is completed, now the Banque Commerciale du Congo business will be amalgamated with that of Equity Group Holdings' existing banking subsidiary in DRC, Equity Bank Congo. The Kenya Authority has lifted the provisional suspension of Silverstone Air services imposed a week ago. The development means that low-cost carrier Silverstone Services Limited can now breathe easy after a week of no operations following the grounding of its Dash 8 fleet to allow inspection after a number of incidences. A statement issued by KCAA indicates that the airline has provided satisfactory corrective measures as per the requirements of the Civil Aviation Regulations 2018. Now, the reprieve that comes with the lifting of the suspension, however, might not be enough to save the airline after all. A leaked memo indicates that the company issued a notice of redundancy to its entire staff on Monday, citing huge losses in the wake of the KCAA directive. Although the company has not reacted to the news of the memo, inside sources say that the crew flying the grounded fleet have already been retrenched. Meanwhile, the Global Mobile Network Operators Association has embarked on a research study on mobile taxation in Kenya aimed at establishing whether the country needs to change its policy on mobile service provision. The management of the association appeared before the Senate Standing Committee on ICT to shed light on why the country needs the mobile taxation research done. According to the GSMA Director for Sub-Saharan Africa, Jenna Frangua Lobihan, the study will go a long way in informing necessary reforms within the mobile service sector. Victoria Munga spoke to ICT Chairperson Senator Gideon Moy on the proposed study.
Carry out a study on what's mobile taxes. What do you make of this?
It is very welcome. We welcome it. We think that it is so important that the tax
Meanwhile, oil retailer Vivo Energy Kenya has appointed Peter Murungi as the new managing director effective December 1st. In a press statement, the energy firm said the appointment followed Joe Maganda's decision to exit the company at the end of this year after a 2-year stint. Peter Murungi joined Vivo Energy in 2007 as a depot manager and holds a master's in business administration and a Bachelor of Science degree in mechanical engineering from the University of Nairobi. Murungi was later transferred to Vivo's energy operations in Namibia initially as a supply and distribution manager in 2011 before becoming the supply manager in 2013. According to Vivo Energy Executive Vice President for East and Southern Africa, Hans Paulsen, the firm is confident in the ability of Peter Murungi to steer the company forward. Vivo Energy Kenya was established in 2012 and operates over 200 service stations. All right, so we're going to do something very interesting on our news bulletin today. What we didn't tell you is that actually you do know that today is International Children's Day. So here on Business AM today, we're going to take a short break. Once we come back, we do have two beautiful souls who represent exactly what we do here on Business AM, who are actually very much interested in journalism. So we thought, why don't we introduce to you these two beautiful souls here today on Business AM, so that for the very first time they can take you through the rest of the show. Good. We're going to take a short break. Once we come back, I've got a surprise for you. Richie, take us out.
It's agriculture that supplies food for the masses, as well as raw material for agro-based industries. But what does it really take to grow the crops or rear those animals? And how do you ensure produce becomes profit? Journey with me, Fred Makori, on my farm visits.
And this is the Farm Journal.
And my colleague Victoria Amunga,
kwa kilo nausaga 200,
as she brings to you the market opportunities. And together we take you through the journey of farming for profit.
Markets Today is a place you need to be every single day on Metropol TV. We give you access to insights with regards to the financial markets. What is happening? Where are people making money? Where are people losing money? And where do you need to place your money? We speak to the decision makers in this industry, the chief executive officers, the chief finance officers, permanent secretaries, people in the cabinet.
Money is starting to circulate. Central banks globally are trying to offset that.
consumer spending patterns.
Now let's look at the numbers
We've not raised a single shilling of new equity capital.
to understand where is your money going to actually grow in the near term.
The market in which financial securities are exchanged or traded.
On Metropol TV, and I am your host, Bife Mwema, and see you then.
From street to street. Tunaangazia biashara kadha wa kadha ambazo kwa na as little as 5,000 shillings unaweza anzisha biashara yako na igrow. And from these businesses, you can get an idea or two on how to boost your business. Haya basi, ishakuwa kipindi ni The Hustle na mi ni Tabitha Muthoni ndani ya Metropol TV.
In journalism training, only 5 viewpoints matter for a proper story. My experience as a business journalist has, however, taught me that there is more. So now I understand that before I walk into that interview, I have to look for the hidden. So for me, what sticks is the story behind the story. What would you say is that unique, very unique selling aspect that you can guarantee I will not find anywhere else?
Good question.
My name is Ingrid Nantege, and this is Metropol Television.
When you hear the word business, what comes to mind? Skyscrapers, fast-moving economy, technology and innovation, dollar versus the shilling exchange rate, financial markets, or better still, the US versus China trade war? Is there a magic bullet that can spark Kenya into economic growth? How about this? How is Africa the next economic frontier? What does that even mean? Questions that keep popping up. Is foreign aid helping Africa develop, or rather is it stagnating it? Does good politics translate into economic development? Well, on Metropol Debrief, we break down business, telling you why it matters and showing you how and when it affects your bottom line. This and much more on the new season of Metropol Debrief at 8 p.m, where we're bold and balanced.
Why is it important to start your business defeat? Because business is demanding. Your body needs to be ready. Successful business persons always stick to health first before the money. So join me, Douglas Karanja, on Shape Up every day at 6 a.m. on Metropol TV.
There's no news story that is in touch with the needs of the audience like a business news story. Therefore, as a business anchor, it is in my mandate to understand the source of the story and, most importantly, consequences of the story. Which means before I take that script into my hands, I have to be close to the story. I have to experience the story, or simply, I have to live the story. It is Friday, the 5th of July, 2019. It's 1 p.m., so welcome to Metropol News at 1. My name is Nina Shaban.
We're back again. Yeah, it's a good picture, isn't it? All right, guys, we are celebrating World International Children's Day. And here on Business AM, we have them in the studio. We're going to talk to them a couple of things here and there. And then after that, we're going to come back. All right? And also talk about it for 2-3 minutes before we take that break. Wow, beautiful. All right. I'm just going to let them introduce themselves. And you actually, I think you do know them. All right. I'm just going to start with my beautiful friend here. Tell people your name.
My name is Angel Nyambura.
Angel Nyambura. It's the second time she's here. And we're just going to live with her. All right. And Allyce, your time now.
I'm Allyce Ndunge.
All right, Allyce Ndunge, beautiful. All right, so guess what we're going to do now? We're going to go to the last story of business business news. Wow, I'm actually confused this morning. All right, business news this morning. All right, then after that, we're going to come back and talk to them in just a couple. Guess what? I'm not the presenter, so that means that we're actually going to turn to her camera, and then she's going to take you through the last story. Beautiful. Now, Allyce, that's your camera. All right, let's do this.
Technology is fast and evolving and is the key driver of the fourth industrial revolution, aided by the advent of artificial intelligence and blockchain. With technology now a vital part of all operations, Hare, the publisher of CIO magazine, has taken it upon him to collect and publish a magazine that is a one-stop shop for all technology information. Apart from that, Hare convinces business leaders every year for a conference that provides a platform for networking and sharing experiences around technology. Hare is our trailblazer this week. Welcome back to our show, Business AM. So I would like to thank you for watching our show. I've been your host, Allyce Ndunge. So now we want to talk about kids.
Ah, fantastic. Yes. Guys, I think you got a new host. Can I miss the show tomorrow? We can bring her back. Yeah? That's fantastic. I know Stephanie wants to say yes. That's fine. Stephanie, I can hear you. Anyway, that's fine. All right. Allyce, Angel. All right. Thank you very much for coming again. I know this is the second time you're here, but today we're here for a very special purpose. It is about talking about kids, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Can I ask you a question now? I know a lot about kids, but I can tell you something that I know that you don't know. At least you go to school, all right? Angel, you go to school. For me, this is what I would like to see happen to kids, like everywhere in the world and in Kenya. Can I surprise you, Angel? There is a kid somewhere who's just like you. But if you ask them, who is the president of Kenya, they don't know. Can you imagine that? Do you know why? Because they don't go to school. Because they don't go to school. Like they don't have that money and that time to go to school. But can I surprise you as well? You know what the government tells us? Education is free. So now you wonder why they cannot go to school, right? So sad. So now I'm going to start with Allyce. What is the big, that's my wish. I wish that every kid would go to school and be like you guys, you know, at your age. No things, you know, no politics, no your environment, no science. All right? That, for me, that's a better world for kids.
Yes.
What's your wish for kids, Allyce, this morning?
I think children should be given, I think it's time. Should give them time, you should provide for them institutions. Okay, yes, education is free, but there's some children who don't go to school for reasons best known to them. Sometimes maybe it's because of let's say there are no funds.
Yes.
But education is free, so there's something not connecting somewhere.
Yes.
And I think the government should do something about that, because they told education is free.
Yes.
Yeah, so the government should keep their promises, if I may put it that way.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's hurting sometimes to see some children don't go to school.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Angel, I'm just gonna, this is my question to you this morning. I know you like journalism, and I know you're in a journalism club. And I ask you a question, when you wake up in the morning, yeah, what is the first thing that you tell your mom and your dad? If you don't tell them, that's fine. Every day. Do you say thank you for them giving you that breakfast and taking you to school? Yeah, you do? Are you lying because they're here? Okay, now I know they're here, okay? I just want you to tell them one thing, because I know they provide for you really good, all right? And I know I don't think you've ever slept hungry. Have you ever slept hungry? Okay? Because I know your dad and mom. I know they're really taking good care of you. So what are you going to tell them today? I know they're here.
Thank you for giving me food and protecting me.
Ah, fantastic. Guys, it couldn't get any better. I mean, yeah, protection, man. Richie, do you have a kid? All right, let's just leave it there. Let's just leave it at that point. Anyway, now today, it's the International Children's Day, where we're going to celebrate the kids around us here, all around. So now, Allyce, I'm just going to come back to you again, all right? When it comes to education, we know that it's free, but we do also know that a great percentage of Kenyan kids, actually even the schools that are free for them, they're not really that good to give them the right education for them to actually go through. Now, somebody's listening somewhere. Today is just about you. Whatever it is that you say, it's going to be possible. So if you were elected today as the Kenyan president, especially, let's just make it better, the Kenyan children president, because we don't have the children's parliament, what would be the first thing, like even before blinking, all right, that you would change about the kids' lives in Kenya?
As you always say, education is key.
Yes.
So the first thing I will do is first make sure, like where the government schools,
yes,
first I will make sure that the facilities are enough.
Yes.
There are enough books, desks, everything, because there's no need of sending children to school and yet whatever is there is not enough for them. So that's the first thing. Then 2, I'll expand the schools. 3, then after that is I'll have a walk around checking if there are children somewhere who are not going to school.
Yes.
If it's providing uniform, we'll provide them. If it's taking them to school transport, I'll take care of that. Because as you say, education is key. Without education, you can't really go far.
Pretty much, isn't it? Thank you, Allyce. Angel, I'm going to come to you. Do you know street kids? Somebody told you to tell them what street kids are. Can you define them to me? Street kids are kids who pretty much live in the streets, isn't it? So now, Angel, if I give you some money today, okay, and I told you, Angel, there's money here, I need you to go spend on those street kids, what would be the first thing that you'll get for the street kids today?
Food.
Food. which is very important, isn't it? All right? Because I know you never slept hungry, and you know what it means like to sleep hungry, isn't it? Isn't it? Yes. Thank you very much, Angel, isn't it? All right, guys, we celebrate the Kids Day, and this morning we're going to speak to the Ima Trust CEO. Mine was going to come into the studio later on so we can actually get to understand how we celebrate the kids around us here. Guys, what I do know though is that your parents celebrate you. That's one thing that I know. Yes. Yeah, and I personally celebrate you. Okay, I'm very happy that you came here today. All right, so now Angel, there's a lady called Stephanie Waswa. She's supposed to come back here so we can go to social media and talk about kids as well and see what guys are talking about online. All right, so now this is how we go, because I know you're very interested in journalism. So now what I normally say it is that we're going to take a short break. All right, but once we come back, Stephanie Waswa will be joining us to take us to social media. Okay, that's your job today. You guys are good? All right, Angel is about to take us on a break. All right, here we go. Angel, you good? You're set? All right. All right, in 3, 2, 1, let's go.
And Stephanie Wassa will be with us to talk on social media.
Wow, guys, just don't take us out yet. How better can it get? You know? Trust me, guys, in the next 10 or 15 years, this next big thing in Kenya. All right, Stephanie Wassa, you're welcome.
Do you have a medical bill, school fees arrears, or any other financial burden? You could be denied a loan as a result of poor credit report. Did you know a certificate of clearance serves as proof that you have no loan default and reassures prospective lenders and employers on your integrity and financial probity? Do you know how to take control of your credit worthiness? Worry no more. Metropol CRB services are now available near you. You can now get Metropol CRB services in all Huduma centers countrywide. Our services are also available at Metropol service centers in Nairobi, Mombasa, Nakuru, Kisumu, Eldoret, Nyeri, Meru, and Machakos. We are here to serve you. Come, let's have a chat. Contact us for more information on our agent and customer service center locations.
The work that goes into preparation of a business story is special. It demands detail without waiver.
The SME contribution to the Kenyan economy is immense. Data, more data, right? According to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, nearly 400,000 SMEs. And how many died? 2.2 million? We have it.
Now to give you more perspective
On the state of SMEs in the country, we're joined live.
In 3, 2,
we're live.
SME contribution to the Kenyan economy
has immensely grown from 13% in 1993 to nearly 30% in the year 2018, according to the Central Bank of Kenya. Now, in a 2016 survey done by the Kenya National
My name is Ndiro Ganga, and this is Metropol TV.
Hi guys. What does it take to run a business that succeeds?
What does an entrepreneur need to do for his business to scale up and outgrow his dreams?
What does a CEO need to know to make a decision?
What exactly makes the stocks move up and down?
Strategy, insights, innovation, growth, leadership, analysis. In an economy that's fast-moving, we are ahead of the game. Armed with data and analysis, we delve deep into the numbers that count, with analysis on key sector and company performance.
Join me, Terry and Chibet, on the first of its kind in East Africa, a show that unpacks industries, speaks to business leaders, decision makers, the movers and shakers who steer our economy. The Capital Point, at this time only on Metropol TV. From street to street. Tunaangazia biashara kadha wa kadha ambazo kwa na as little as 5,000 shillings unaweza anzisha biashara yako na igrow. And from these businesses, you can get an idea or two on how to boost your business. Haya basi, ishakuwa kipindi ni The Hustle na mi ni Tabitha Muthoni ndani ya Metropol TV.
In journalism training, only 5 viewpoints matter for a proper story. My experience as a business journalist has, however, taught me that there is more. So now I understand that before I walk into that interview, I have to look for the hidden. So for me, what sticks is the story behind the story. What would you say is that unique, very unique selling aspect that you can guarantee I will not find anywhere else?
Good question.
My name is Ingrid Nantege, and this is Metropol Television.
When you hear the word business, what comes to mind? Skyscrapers, fast-moving economy, technology and innovation, dollar versus the shilling exchange rate, financial markets, or better still, the US versus China trade war? Is there a magic bullet that can spark Kenya into economic growth? How about this? How is Africa the next economic frontier? What does that even mean? Questions that keep popping up. Is foreign aid helping Africa develop, or rather is it stagnating it? Does good politics translate into economic development? Well, on Metropol Debrief, we break down business, telling you why it matters and showing you how and when it affects your bottom line. This and much more on the new season of Metropol Debrief at 8 p.m, where we're bold and balanced.
Why is it important to start your business defeat? Because business is demanding. Your body needs to be ready. Successful business persons always seek to help us before the money. So join me, Douglas Karanja, on Shape Up every day at 6 a.m. on Metropol TV.
There's no news story that is in touch with the needs of the audience like a business news story. Therefore, as a business anchor, it is in my mandate to understand the source of the story and, most importantly, consequences of the story. Which means before I take that script into my hands, I have to be close to the story. I have to experience the story, or simply, I have to live the story. It is Friday, the 5th of July 2019. It's 1 p.m. So welcome to Metropol News at 1. My name is Nina Shaban.
Markets Today is a place you need to be every single day on Metropol TV. We give you access to insights with regards to the financial market. What is happening? Where are people making money? Where are people losing money? And where do you need to place your money? We speak to the decision makers in this industry, the chief executive officers, the chief finance officers, permanent secretaries, people in the cabinet.
Money is starting to circulate. Central banks globally are trying to offset that.
Consumer spending patterns.
Now let's look at the numbers.
We've not raised a single shilling of new equity capital.
To understand where is your money going to actually grow in the near term.
The market in which financial securities are exchanged or are traded.
On Metropol TV, and I am your host, Bife Mwema, and see you then.
It's agriculture that supplies food for the masses as well as raw material for agro-based industries. But what does it really take to grow the crops or rear those animals? And how do you ensure produce becomes profit? Journey with me, Fred Makori, on my farm visits.
And this is the Farm Journal.
And my colleague Victoria Amunga,
Kwa kilo nausaga 200.
as she brings to you the market opportunities. And together, we take you through the journey of farming for profit.
Good morning and welcome back to Business M. We have a very, very interesting show. We're celebrating children today, and remember you can catch us live at Metropol TV KE. Yes. Allyce, Angel, welcome.
Hey, why, Mama, this aside, I should have got that introduction as well.
Allyce, Angel, welcome.
And wait a minute. Oh my God, Stephanie.
And others.
Anyway, so guys, this is why she normally takes us to social media, all right? So if there's nothing that you don't understand, if you want to contribute with me, you can contribute, okay? So we see exactly how it goes. All right, Stephanie, what's your first item today?
So Allyce and Angel, yesterday was Happy International Men's Day, so we wanted to wish Simba a happy international, belated actually, Men's Day.
Yeah, okay,
Could you please
Angel, let me ask you a question. Can you imagine? She was supposed to say that yesterday, and she didn't say it. So should I be happy or sad?
Sad.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I'm really sorry.
Can you imagine if she had a birthday, or if you had your birthday yesterday, and then your father walks into the house and then says, "Oh my God, I forgot about your birthday. Let me wish you that birthday." You start crying, isn't it? It's not so good. That's what she's doing to me, and she does it every day. I don't know why.
I mean, every day.
I asked her yesterday, and then she said, "What are we celebrating?" Imagine. Like, what are we celebrating?
No.
You see the look on Angel's face?
Happy belated.
That's what you get.
It's a belated one.
Anyway,
one.
We get it. Allyce, can I ask you a question though? If somebody tells you which man or men did you celebrate in your life yesterday, who would the top person be?
I think my dad.
Oh, okay. Fantastic. I mean, we get it every time, isn't it?
We do.
I mean, it couldn't come better. Men's Day and then Children's Day, isn't
True.
it?
And
Fantastic.
also, maybe not mention.
Yeah, what's that now? Stephanie, what is that you don't mention?
No, there's no need to.
Yeah?
It was World International Toilet Day yesterday too.
Fantastic. Oh, is that why you're not mentioning it?
Yeah.
Is that what we're asking? What are we celebrating? But it's a very, very important day.
It is a very important day. We celebrate you
when you look at the stats, Stephanie was of people who have access to clean toilets in the world.
Yeah.
That's when you will know it's important.
It is important.
All right. Can we move on therefore?
We can.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Today is World Children's Day. So we have Dematra's Executive Director James Maina talking about what is the Convention on the Rights of the Child.
Okay.
True.
All right.
Very interesting conversation.
Is it okay for us to get one pointer from Allyce?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, Allyce, I know they're there. I mean, everybody knows the rights and all that. But for you, what would be the top most, if you were to rank them? You know, you can't rank rights. Everybody has no right. Right is something that you get, all right? But what would be the most pressing right among those?
Right to education.
Right to education. Definitely. She couldn't stress it anymore, isn't it?
Yes.
Stephanie, once you've seen exactly how you need to raise your kids to the level. This is the level.
I'm taking notes.
This is the level. This is the level. That is in what? 20 years from now?
Probably.
20 years, Stephanie was one.
I'll shock you.
Oh yeah? One of these fine days, huh?
No, not one of these
fine days. Oh, one of these fine years.
Months, maybe years, yeah.
No, months is good. Months is good, Stephanie.
Yeah, how about you?
Yeah, me? You know Stephanie was
I don't know.
This is 25 years. All right, let's do this.
Right. Yes. So news, the Kenya Civil Association Authority has lifted the provisional suspension of Silverstone Air's service imposed a week ago.
A week ago.
So,
but here's the thing, there's something about that though.
Yeah.
We're going to talk to, it's important now for us to say that to Allyce's dad this morning to actually tell us exactly what's going on, because it's not just Silverstone that's closing, especially when it comes to regulations in the country. Stephanie, you do know civil. Also,
I do.
It's down under. We do know now Silverstone, isn't it? We're just going to even as they lift it, Silverstone actually closed short.
They did, because they were planning to trouble Silverstone Airplanes plan to sack all its employees after the Civil Aviation Regulator grounded its fleet.
Yes.
In an internal communication, the firm has notified its employees of a possible redundancy on the grounds that it is incurring huge losses following the directive by Kenya Civil Aviation Authority to ground its Dash 8 fleet. So I'm very confused. They lift the ban, they're sacking employees.
Confusing, isn't it?
Very,
but details of how the expense, the venture was not going to be expensive. Now that they were supposed to move to JKIA as opposed to Wilson, I think that's exactly what's behind that. But beyond that, now we see this push and pull, and it's as if KCAA has been sleeping on its job. Now, once they realize they can't run like that, they say let's go short, isn't it?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. So Safaricom is introducing new internet packages for businesses. Safaricom announced new internet packages for small to medium-sized businesses in Kenya. The company introduced 3 new options for unlimited internet connectivity delivered through Safaricom Fiber. The packages are 3,999 for 3 Mbps monthly unlimited internet connectivity, 5,499 for 5 Mbps, and 14,999 for 10 Mbps. According to Safaricom, it has already connected close to 3,000 buildings to its fiber network and plans to another 1,500 connected by March 2020. This is good news. At least we see various really big companies supporting MSMEs.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
They're actually pegging it on that. But if you look at it, it's definitely the answer will be, is that the cheapest in the market? It's not.
It's not.
It's not.
Clearly, it's not.
Isn't it?
But
it's just a marketing tool that is a way of supporting MSMEs in the country, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, fantastic. Can we move over to the new one before we talk to a guest again?
No, I think this is a bit in depth. So I think
isn't it? Government ministries perceived to be prone to corruption.
So yes,
it's an education which Allyce really supports at 6.8%.
Yes.
That's exactly. Can we ask them a question?
Sure.
I know, Allyce, I know you have friends from public schools as well and private schools as well. Have you ever got any report that they're now using the laptops and they're using the free laptops?
No.
But you do know that they were supposed to use that?
Yeah.
Hey, imagine. Yeah. Everybody does know. You can ask even Angel. Your friends, were supposed to have laptops in schools, isn't it? So now we'll be looking at some of the education, some of the ministries that are prone to corruption. You might start to think that they even procured for them and somebody pocketed that money. It's really sad. That's what we're talking about, the rights of the kids. When you promise the kids something, our president did promise. He said that was it at what? 2 years into my term, isn't it?
Yeah.
Every kid in every primary school,
entering class 1,
isn't it, will start using a laptop. Angel, you think everybody knows how to operate a smartphone like you do? No. You will be surprised, isn't it? when you go home, like not home, when you travel home for Christmas sometimes, you know, see some kids, you give them a phone, they think the phone is going to bite them. It's really sad, isn't it? Is that the government should come and support them by giving them those free laptops and phones, isn't it? So they can also start learning technology. But your government did not do that. They lied. They lied. Nobody has it. In fact, even electricity. Some schools don't have it. Imagine. So how do they learn? It's not like your school, where you have screens and computers and, you know, they don't have it. Sad, isn't it? So that's why we're telling the government this morning, is that if you promise kids something, you gotta give it to them, isn't it? Because it's what is gonna better their lives. Because if you give that kid a phone with internet, they're gonna know the first president of the Republic of Kenya was Kenyatta, isn't it? Some of them don't know. All right, let's continue.
Yes.
All right.
That's it for today, actually.
That's it for today, actually.
For today.
All right, Stephanie Wanso, I'm just going to throw it to you this morning. Wow. Guys, we're going to put Stephanie Wanso on the spot here, and I love this.
Are we going to agree committees?
No,
you don't have
no,
okay.
No.
No?
We do. Yes, can you ask Richie? Richie?
Yeah.
Do we have a good commodities? That's fine.
Okay.
Angel is going to take us there. But just before that, because it's the last time that we're talking to Allyce and Angel this morning, I'm just going to throw it to you, Stephanie Wanso.
Why? Okay.
I'm just going to check your child handbook. All right. Have you read it? Which page are you in? 25? Good. All right. Here we go. Angel.
Okay.
How many years are you? 8 years old. So Stephanie Wanso, I want you to bring yourself back to an 8-year-old this morning.
Wow.
Angel, she's really smart.
Yeah.
You know what they say? My community, and I will tell you that today, Stephanie Wanso.
Okay.
My community, when I go back home for Christmas, like this time around, when I go back home for Christmas, I say I travel 4 hours back to 1960. 8-year-olds in my community, and that's one thing that I'll fight for. Like when I go back there, I've started already. I've started initiatives just to educate kids, and yeah, you'll be glad. I gave 3 computers to my school and a modem for internet.
Okay.
But every time I see the kids, I feel like I travel 4 years back to 1960 because 8-year-olds look like 2-year-olds.
True.
In terms of their intellect.
Okay.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And you wonder, it's just a little bit of exposure and it's so sad. All right, so I want you to bring back yourself to Angel's position. All right?
Yeah. Like what I'd be doing with 8 years.
Yes.
Wow. 8 years.
Oh.
I think 2.
Are you sure?
I think let's do.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do this.
I think let's do.
Wow,
what is it? Stephanie was in class 2.
Yeah.
What was I doing? Playing with mud.
Play with mud? Do you play with mud? Sometimes. Good. We're checking.
This is a secret, but I'm going to say.
All right.
I was still swinging in my bed.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was.
Anyway.
I was.
Stephanie Wanso, we celebrate the 8-year-old you, isn't it? All right, Allyce, just one question to Stephanie Wanso. Anything at all you don't want to ask her? Anything at all? You can test her, your child's knowledge. Yeah? You can ask her. Yeah?
What are some of the issues teenagers face?
Peer pressure, definitely.
Peer pressure. Would you explain to us, Stephanie?
And now with social media, I think peer pressure is all over. Social media is not helping at all. I think my advice would be probably just follow them, but you know, be content with what you have. Don't try to be like any other person because you won't be happy.
Fantastic.
You really won't be happy.
I couldn't say it any better. Yeah. That's the only thing I cannot say, Stephanie. I was thinking about something different.
Really?
Anyway, Angel, guess what we're going to do next? We are going to go to the agro commodities. That means is that we're going to tell the people the prices of their carrots, kales, skuma, you know. Kales, skuma is the same thing, isn't it? All right, pili pili hoho. Do you know what we call pili pili hoho in English? Stephanie, what do we call it? Capsicums. Yeah, that's a new word for you. All right, capsicums. We're going to tell them the prices in different markets. We normally pick the top markets across the country, and then we show them the prices. Okay.
Yes.
Now, how we normally do it is it on this camera? Oh, fantastic! All right, you look at the camera and tell them, here is a look at the agro commodities. Okay, but once we come back, I'm going to tell them my dad is in the house to review the economy. Okay, fantastic. You good? You ready? So now, we're going to look at the agro commodities. That what? Agro commodities. agro-commodities.
Agro-commodities.
Ah, fantastic. And then when we come back, my father, your father is going to look at the economy. Okay? Fantastic. Can we do that? Okay? Okay. You do your part, agro-commodities, then I'll do the last part. Okay? Fantastic. Good. Richie, you good? All right. So now we're going to go on a break. Okay? But when we come back, we shall bring you the agro-commodities. Okay? Fantastic. Good. All right. Richie, Angel is taking you by. Stand by. In 3, 2, 1.
We're going to go on a break, and when we come back, my dad will be talking about the agri.
About the economy.
About the economy.
Fantastic. And then after that, we look at the agro commodities. But don't you dare step away, because on the last part of the show, again, we got a little surprise for you. You can't believe it. We're talking about kids today. All right, Richie, take us out.
The work that goes into preparation of a business story is special. It demands detail without waver.
The SME contribution to the Kenyan economy is immense. Data, more data, right? According to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, nearly 400,000 SMEs. And how many died? 2.2 million? We have it.
Now to give you more perspective
On the state of SMEs in the country, we're joined live.
In 3, 2,
we're live. SME contribution to the Kenyan economy has immensely grown from 13% in 1993 to nearly 30% in the year 2018, according to the Central Bank of Kenya. Now, in a 2016 survey done by the Kenya National
My name is Ndiro Ganga, and this is Metropol TV.
Kenya is on the rise. It's growing, it's progressing, it is powered by you. You are innovative, you are passionate about the future. You want more from life, from time, and from your money. At Stima Sacco, we are a reflection of you. We are a stable, financially sound institution providing tailor-made services to add value to your life, time, and money. We are guided by your aspiration. We are designed to match your ambition. We are Stima Sacco, a true reflection of you.
All right, welcome back to Business AM. Still in the mood of celebrating the Children's International Day, but that means this business has to continue as usual, and there's a lot that is happening in the economy this morning. And the CEO Miradi Capital, Abraham Madago, other than Allyce and Angel, who we know as associates. Let's just say hi to him. Hello, sir.
Hi, brother.
Karibu sana Metropol TV.
Thank
It's a good day this morning.
Yes, it
So I
is.
just want us to look at two big issues that are happening in the economy right now as we digress into the other parts of our discussion this morning. Now, center stage really is health issues now. Now, the Higher Education Loans Board has given a 30-day deadline to Kenyan defaulters to repay their loans, failure to which their names and photos will be published in the country's dailies. According to HELP, at least 85,000 Kenyans have failed to service a loan of 50 billion shillings issued since, now wait for it, 1975. Now, the state body further added that legal action may be pursued against defaulters at the expiry of a 30-day deadline in accordance with the HELP Act. But before we decipher further into this, let us listen to a piece by our very own Victoria Munga. All right, Richie, take us there. All right, Richie, as you get ready. Now, Abraham, I mean, since 1975, that is 44 years down the line. And so we would like to think that it's either they are unable to pay for these loans, because I don't think somebody will sit back and say, I am not really able to pay for that, because we don't help can find other ways to actually get this money from these people because they have their names and they could get their accounts really easily.
I think first and foremost, if you're talking about a loan of 1975,
yes.
First of all, even the quantum of it's a very small amount.
Yes.
I think personally, if I was to approach this issue, what I would do first of all is to apply the Pareto principle.
Yes.
The 80-20. Where is the 80% of my value?
Yes.
because we are basically trying to paint the whole problem with one brush.
Yes.
We're saying we're going to publish all the pictures. We are going to follow all the... See, with debt collection and credit management, you have to apply energy based on what you're getting back. So the effort should be different. But coming back to what you're saying, there are two categories of people. The people who got jobs and did not pay. Yes. Those people are there.
Yes.
But with the advent of the kind of information that government has on us now, they have ID numbers, because by the time you go to university, you had an ID.
Yes.
So using that information, they can track where all these people are. So if they have employers who are in government or in private sector, those ones should be taken out of the equation immediately by either amending this law to make it compulsory that that money shall be deducted from your salary in full.
Yes.
So that category of people. Then there's a category of people who are probably passed on. We read that off. Get that out of the way. Then there's a category of people who have never gotten jobs. So those category of people is the people we need to think about. So to me, we have to have a dichotomy of this debt and really analyze it in terms of what, when you talk about that lump sum figure, yes, what are we talking about?
Yes.
In terms of age. In 1975, if today you took a 1975 debt to court, it is statutory bad, because you have slept on your rights. Yes. So you cannot wake up after 50 years and want to implement your rights. Yes. So there are also legal issues about putting somebody's picture in the paper. With the kind of constitution we have, I don't think you can do that. Secondly, if you have to put all those pictures, if you do a rough computation, you're talking about roughly about 2B, just to put those pictures. And for municipalities to do nothing else than publish people's pictures. Yes. So I think the whole strategy is more of a scare tactic than an actual strategy. Yes. And I don't think it was going to scare anybody, if you ask me. The people are not bored. Yes. So I think let them go back to the drawing board. Let them dissect this debt into age and into segments of the people who took and cross-check the database of the ID numbers vis-a-vis those people where they are now. Yes. And whether they are alive. Because you can also cross-check that with the registrar of debts. That out. And then now you're left with this category of people who genuinely took the loan but have no job. Yes. That is where the discussion should be, because I remember when I was taking mine, the underlying transaction was, we'll only deduct it the day you get a job. Yes. Okay, I was in school quite some time back. But when I got my job, I paid it in full, because it was not much. Yes. But what I'm saying is, there's a big chunk of this debt that is about people who want to pay but cannot pay. Yes. So what do we do to those people? Publishing them in the papers will not make them pay. If I don't have the ability to pay, embarrassing me will not make me pay. Yes. Yeah. So I personally, I may not have the details, but if you were to ask me, that's how I would approach it.
Pretty much, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, there are two ways that we're talking about this. Is it that we have failed, therefore, to actually help the loan beneficiaries to get ways in which to pay money? Because the people are saying, you just don't give me money, because there should be a process in this sense. Is that there are some activities that the government are going to actually now get into using the same people who owe them money, so that this amount of money that they keep on paying. I mean, we've had conversations floated, like the just concluded national census process. You would have said that it would have been mandatory for anybody who owns the government this money to actually get in that. Election processes. Train them and make sure that the money in which you disburse to other quarters of the economy actually goes back to paying your loans. Would you say that we would start from there? Because I don't think anybody just sits, a majority of them just are unable totally to pay back these monies.
Yeah, you're right. Again, if you divide them into only two groups, those who can pay and want to and don't want to pay, yes, and those who can pay and are not paying. Yes. Now, if you look at it carefully, the underlying problem is that the economy is not doing as it should, and that's why there are so many of those people who got degrees but have no jobs. Yes. So that is where we should start. Yes. One, implement our strategies and fortify them so that we generate the jobs we need to generate, probably at 500,000 to 1 million jobs a year. That's number one. Number two, we also need to shift our curriculum, which I think we've already done, but it's still at the lower end, so that we start bringing up entrepreneurs. We start bringing up people who run in their own lane. Because this problem of help people not be able to pay help, with the current model, will only get worse. Why? Because it is can't pay, won't pay. If I can't pay, what You see, you can only
Yes.
follow me through a civil suit.
Yes.
The end of a civil suit, if you get judgment, if I have nothing to collect, then you take me to civil jail.
Yes.
Civil jail, you the person who pays for my stay maximum of 6 months in civil jail, and after that, dead end. So that route is a route they do not want to follow.
Yes.
It's expensive, so it will just poke boreholes in their pocket.
Yes.
So that's what I'm telling you. It's better to dissect and decide our value is here, and this other debt is not collectible. Let's get rid of it.
Pretty much.
And then let the government take the tab, because education is one of the sectors that are critical to this.
Yes.
But at the same time, as we're sorting our education system, as the CBC comes up, although it's probably now at almost the last standard date, I think we'll do it in about 2-3 years. So as CBC comes, the time it gets to university, then we'll start getting people who are given a loan, and as soon as they come out, they pay because they have the ability to start something.
Yes.
Or they're in a lane that requires them. But right now, what we are doing, we're just churning people with papers. When they get out there, they start fumbling around, but they can't pay. And so this problem will continue. If we continue doing the same thing, and we continue this kind of scare tactics, I don't think they're going to help. I can assure you, even in about a week or two, this will have fizzled out.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Away from that now, but I just want us to talk about Equity Group this morning. Now, they just want to be called Equity. Good. Now, it has announced it has plans, therefore. It has entered into a deal to acquire a majority stake in Banque Commerciale du Congo, that is BCDC, the second largest bank in Democratic Republic of Congo. Equity Bank Group will pay 10.7 billion to George Arthur Forrest family to acquire a 66.5% stake in the bank. Thus, it will pay the amount in cash for the 354 shares in BCDC in a deal inclusive of dividends that the bank will declare after January 1st. Now, the Nairobi Security Exchange listed bank already has a subsidiary in DR Congo, which it acquired in May 2015 and will seek to integrate the two banks in a merger that will create the second largest bank in the Central African nation. Now, we would therefore acquire an additional 7.6% stake from KfW, a German state-owned development bank, pushing its ownership to 93.6%. Let's leave it there. Abraham, recently, we have seen local businesses actually start to venture regionally. Equity Bank has been there, and we cannot say they've started right now, because we do know they're in Uganda, they're in Southern Sudan, they're in Tanzania as well. But the books really speak for them wanting to do this. If you go back to look at the first year report, just pre-tax profits, they actually rose to 17 billion shillings in the first half of the year. All right? I just want us to go back again and look at exactly what they did. If you look at their net loans to customers, they also rose 17% to 320.9 billion shillings in the first half of the year. All right? It is the biggest lender by customers in Kenya.
It is.
It is the biggest lender by customers.
It is.
But we've seen this trend of local businesses going regional. Yes. Safaricom being the latest. We've seen KCB, we've now seen Equity. Equity is actually now going to be, it's actually now cemented itself as a regional bank, as just opposed to being a local bank. Do you think that the local climate for Equity has propelled it to this level where they say, I think we've achieved what we wanted to do here locally, let's branch outside? Or it's just a point of, yes, as we continue chatting our way locally, let's also spread our wings somewhere else?
Okay. If you look at the local commercial environment,
yes,
we have about 45 banks.
Yes.
If you look at Nigeria, which has 200 million people, we only have 47 million people. They have less than 20 banks. So it tells you that Kenya is overbanked.
Yes.
That's number one. So it means we have more banks than we should. Now, that in itself portends that the space, especially for the big banks,
yes,
like Equity, Coop Bank, KCB, NCBA, Barclays, and Standard, the big six, as we would call them, those alone do not have enough space here. Even not talk about the others, the tier 2, 3, and a bit 1 or 2 of tier 4.
Yes.
So for them, it is a natural progression to go regional. And that's why you see the big boys again are the ones who have gone regional, and depending on how big that boy or girl is. Now, specifying it to Congo, Congo is the only country in the world where you will find all the metals in the periodic table, if you remember your chemistry.
Yes, all of them.
Yes, including californium and all those rare metals.
Yes.
It is the only country where the south does not talk to the north, the west does not talk to the east, and it's as virgin as they come.
Yes.
It's a country that has climate that is only found there and in the Amazon because of how thick that equatorial forest is.
Yes.
So banks that are, Equity has seen that potential because now everybody, because you see the whole world, the frontiers have all dried up. Africa is a new frontier. But even if you go to Africa, Africa is not, the frontiers in Africa are very few left now.
Yes.
And if you look carefully, the frontiers are around the Eastern Central Africa and a bit of West Africa. But we have the advantage of that we are English speaking. They are a mix of Kiswahili, English, and French, and a bit of I think Spanish.
Yes.
So I think Equity has seen that potential. That's why you see they've bought into one bank. Now they're buying into another.
Now they're buying into another.
What is the strategy?
Yes.
The strategy is, as money starts getting in that country, which it is, as infrastructure starts being put up,
yes,
as a country starts becoming efficient, they'll be there. Because everybody, when an investor comes into a country, the first thing they want to know is how do they take their money in and how do they take their money out?
Yes.
And where do they keep their money safe?
Yes.
So that position they're already taking. But even not just for banking, I think you'll soon see, once the infrastructure starts kicking in, you'll start seeing production plants changing their models from producing here and transporting it there to taking their plants there. Because the kind of concessions that are coming, for which I am privy to, are concessions that will make it very easy for people to go and set up there. The only reason people are not setting up there is because, one, the preconditions like human capital, in terms of ease of power,
yes,
in terms of water, the basic amenities are still not the way they should. So the people are the expatriates would be more comfortable staying here.
Yes.
But the moment we up that infrastructure in that country, then you'll start seeing movements there.
Yes.
You'll start seeing a reduction of airfare. Because like if you look at the Kenya Airways flight, like from Nairobi to Lubumbashi or Nairobi to Kinshasa,
yes,
it's more expensive than Nairobi to London. Why? Because the demand is higher. But as they open their skies, then you'll have more planes going there. Then the place would come down. So in a nutshell, I think James Mwangi of Equity, I think is just positioning himself.
Yes.
The kind of money he's spending may not make sense now, but it will make sense.
But it will make sense.
Because the guys who will be coming in then will pay 3-4 times what he's paying.
What he's spending right now.
Yeah.
Isn't it? There's something that he said, just as we cleared this conversation this morning, there's something that he actually said the other day when he was releasing their results. Yes. Isn't that they don't know what the government policy is in Kenya when they just expunged the repeal of rate caps. Is that they said, we're not in a hurry right here, right now in the market, despite these good numbers that are actually giving us this morning, to actually start changing our interest in our products. We have to wait and see what policy that the government is really trying to introduce. Would you say that this is exactly what is making them fuel their energies to, was a less regulated environment, just to go capture in a fresh market, even as the local market here really tries to redefine itself, because we're getting told the 20% interest rate regime done and dusted?
Yeah, you see, first of all, in terms of sophistication, Kenya is a very sophisticated market.
Yes.
I mean, there's no comparison with DRC.
Yes.
Personally, I think the reason they're going there is because of lack of space here. The regime here, you saw, even when it was capped, they still stayed. Now the reason nobody is going ahead to increase their rates is because everybody is playing a wait and see game.
Isn't it?
Because the public is waiting to lynch the first guy who goes
just
first.
makes that step.
Yeah. So that's why you see they've all stayed put. If they asked, they would have done something else, but they are all staying put, trying to understand. But the government should move very fast and start, and actually the MPC should have met by now and start driving the CBR downwards.
Yes.
So that as they think about going up, the government gives direction of down.
Pretty much,
yes.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, Abraham, I'm just going to let us stop here because I'm getting told Allyce and Angel took our time and they're bound to come back again and take it further as well, because after this, we are actually going to talk now The topic on children's rights. We have Daima Trust Executive Director in the studio today. Let's talk about it, and we have another surprise for you. Wait and see. Abraham, thank you very much for coming.
Anytime.
All right.
Anytime.
Richie, take us out. We come and talk about that.
It's agriculture that supplies food for the masses as well as raw material for agro-based industries. But what does it really take to grow the crops or rear those animals? And how do you ensure produce becomes profit? Journey with me, Fred Makori, on my farm visits.
And this is the Farm Journal.
And my colleague Victoria Amunga,
kwa kilo nausaga 200,
as she brings to you the market opportunities. And together we take you through the journey of farming for profit.
I'm Francis Mwangi, and I'm the CEO and founder of Zindua Tech. We basically try and help companies and organizations to identify the gaps that they have, especially when it comes to the area of cybersecurity. Today's industries are very tech-enabled and tech-driven. So for the Chief Information Officer or the CIO, the bridge between the business and technology, they drive the agenda when it comes to tech within the industry, within the organization from a technology perspective. I've attended the CIO Symposium for the past 2 years now. You get to learn a lot in terms of what's happening in the tech industry. I would want to see what new thing is being done in the area of security, and especially within the disruptive technology, what is being done to ensure that we do not remain vulnerable even as we innovate. Please sign up for this year's CIO 100. You do not want to miss the chance to be in that space, and if you haven't signed up yet, please sign up. And we look forward to seeing you in Naivasha, the CIO 100 Symposium.
Hi guys. What does it take to run a business that succeeds?
What does an entrepreneur need to do for his business to scale up and outgrow his dreams?
What does a CEO need to know to make a decision?
What exactly makes the stocks move up and down?
Strategy, insights, innovation, growth, leadership, analysis. In an economy that's fast-moving, we are ahead of the game. Armed with data and analysis, we delve deep into the numbers that count, with analysis on key sector and company performance. Join me, Terry Chebet, on the first of its kind in East Africa, a show that unpacks industries, speaks to business leaders, decision makers, the movers and shakers who steer our economy. The Capital Point, at this time only on Metropol TV.
From street to street. Tunaangazia biashara kadha wa kadha ambazo kwa na as little as 5,000 shillings unaweza anzisha biashara yako na igrow. And from these businesses, you can get an idea or two on how to boost your business. Haya basi, ishakuwa kipindi ni The Hustle na mi ni Tabitha Muthoni ndani ya Metropol TV.
In journalism training, only 5 viewpoints matter for a proper story. My experience as a business journalist has, however, taught me that there is more. So now I understand that before I walk into that interview, I have to look for the hidden. So for me, what sticks is the story behind the story.
What would you say is that unique, very unique selling aspect that you can guarantee I will not find anywhere else?
Good question. My name is Ingrid Nantege, and this is Metropol Television.
Welcome back to Business AM. We are at the tail end of the show, and actually, this is the only time that Business AM ends the way it started. We started with children's rights and celebrating the International Child. So everywhere you are, you gotta celebrate that kid. And we're going to know the meaning of celebrating your children today in a very special manner. Now, we started the show with Allyce and Angel. For those who know, that is Abraham Muthogo's family. All right. Now, there's no better way, therefore, to celebrate the child if you don't get the mother's perspective. Good. How better can we get now? Because, ladies and gentlemen, we do have Abraham Muthogo's wife in the studio today. And this morning, I'm not going to call him a wife. I'm just going to call her the mom for Allyce and Angel, because they're the only way, therefore, that we can get to recognize Allyce and Angel. Good. And I've got a message from you. It's going to start. I'm going to read it. This one comes from Abraham Muthogo. I'm reading it because I just want to represent the exact message. All right? Today, wait, was it? Oh, good. Today, I want to tell you on Abraham's behalf, since we are celebrating the kids' lives today and the rights of the kids today, is that he loves you very much because he recognizes your contribution. You can say any better. That's me. I'm done with that message. Okay. Anyway, Rina, karibu sana Metropol TV, isn't it? All right. So I just want us to start from a very basic point. It's going to be 7 minutes that we'll be given. I told you we only have 3 minutes left. Sure. Interesting. All right. So now, in what way, therefore, have you brought Allyce and Angel up to recognize the things that they have to get and the things that they pretty much don't need? And have you brought them up in a way, therefore, that they appreciate what they already have? Yes.
If you ask me, I think the most important thing for a child,
yes,
for them to be able to learn and appreciate anything, is love.
Yes.
For as long as you don't show a child love, they will not be able to appreciate anything that you give it to them. So love, for me, comes first. You have to show them love, then from them, they can appreciate anything.
Yes.
Yes. So I think that is more important than anything. Because any human being, you included, who is loved, who is shown love, is able to portray that and give that to anyone.
Yes.
I think it's the only thing that can be given for free.
Yes.
And like we have said, education, the government has terribly failed us. As much as it's free, many children do not have access to that.
Yes.
And even the ones who have access to that free education are accessing it with very minimal facilities.
Yes.
So for me, I think I've brought up my children in a way that they know first and foremost, they need to love someone for them to be able to appreciate anything. They need love first is very most important. I love this pair of shoe I have to be able to take care of it. I don't ruin it so that 2-3 months later I'm not asking for a new pair of shoe.
Yes.
So for me, I think love is the most important one.
Pretty much, isn't it?
Yes.
And this is going to be your last question there for this morning.
Yes.
What sort of environment would you love for Allyce and Angel to grow in? Especially now they're kids and we recognize the fact that they're kids. Therefore, what environment, and I'm talking about this government, I'm talking about whatever it is that they may want to go. What sort of environment would you like for them to grow when it comes to the rights of the children now?
There's the first one.
Yes.
An environment where God should be loved, and everyone should recognize God.
Yes.
So for that reason, they all have to go to Sunday school. They all go to Sunday school. Actually, Allyce is Angel's dance teacher in church.
Interesting.
So that's the first environment I have made sure I have brought them up in.
Yes.
The next one is to appreciate anyone. Don't take anyone for granted.
Yes.
Because if today in the morning I'd taken the house help for granted, we'd not be here, because we wouldn't have clean clothes, we wouldn't have pressed clothes, we would not have had breakfast.
Yes.
I think it's very important, not just for children, but then again, we start from the foundation. The foundation is the children, to learn to appreciate everyone.
Yes.
Even that mkokoteni guy you see when you're driving in traffic, just appreciate him, because he's woken up and told his family he's going to work. Okay? So you want to try and bully him on the road. It's someone who's working very hard to provide for his family.
Yes.
So we must appreciate practically everyone.
Yes.
The shoe shiner, you have to appreciate him. On your way to work, you step on mud. You can't come to the studio with dirty shoes. So it is important to appreciate everyone. I'm bringing them up in an environment where everyone is important. Practically everyone. Even the gate man, they call them watchmen. I don't know what's watchman, guard.
Soldier.
If he decides he won't open for you that gate, you will not enter.
Yes.
Okay? If he decides he won't let you go, Daddy has said you don't get out of this gate alone, he won't allow you to go out.
Yes.
So I'm bringing them up in an environment where they have to appreciate everyone, which I think is the key to everything. Because for me to appreciate taxpayers' money, I need first to appreciate that taxpayer. Somebody is paying that money has gone through a lot to be able to get that money to pay it. So why am I misusing taxpayers' money?
Pretty much.
Yeah, so it's basically, if you bring up all the children in an environment where you have to appreciate everything, you have to learn how to appreciate everything that is given to you.
Yes.
I think we'll have a fantastic world.
Pretty much.
Yes.
Rina, it couldn't get any better.
Thank
Thank
you
you
very
very much
much
for joining us this morning. Guess what? It's a good show today. And it doesn't stop there. We're going to take a short break. But once we come back, Diamond Trust Executive Director is in the house. All right? So we take that break, Richie.
The work that goes into preparation of a business story is special. It demands detail without
The SME contribution to the Kenyan economy is immense. Data, more data, right? According to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, nearly 400,000 SMEs. And how many died? 2.2 million? We have it. Now to give you more perspective on the state of SMEs in the country, we're joined live.
In 3, 2,
1, we're live. SME contribution to the Kenyan economy has immensely grown from 13% in 1993 to nearly 30% in the year 2018, according to the Central Bank of Kenya. Now, in a 2016 survey done by the Kenya National
My name is Ndiro Ganga, and this is Metropol TV.
Markets Today is a place you need to be every single day on Metropol TV. We give you access to insights with regards to the financial market. What is happening? Where are people making money? Where are people losing money? And where do you need to place your money? We speak to the decision makers in this industry, the chief executive officers, the chief finance officers, permanent secretaries, people in the cabinet.
Money is starting to circulate. Central banks globally are trying to offset that.
Consumer spending patterns.
Now let's look at the numbers
We've not raised a single shilling of new equity capital.
to understand where is your and see you then.
There's no news story that is in touch with the needs of the audience like a business news story. Therefore, as a business anchor, it is in my mandate to understand the source of the story and, most importantly, consequences of the story. Which means before I take that script into my hands, I have to be close to the story. I have to experience the story. Or simply, I have to leave the story. It's Friday, the 5th of July, 2019. It's 1 p.m., so welcome to Metropol News at 1. My name is Nina Shaban.
Welcome back to now, officially, the last part of the show this morning. It's been eventful. Richie, we've taken a lot of breaks this morning, haven't we? But it's been for the good part of it, isn't it? And that because we are celebrating International Children's Day today. Now, if you do know, is that children also have rights. Is that every time we fight for rights, but when you take them down specifically to children, then the rights start to change. Because then you gotta look at them as children specifically. Good. Now, in the studio to talk about this and also talk about an event that is going to mark the celebration of the International Child is James Maina, is Daima Trust Executive Director. Karibu sana.
Thank you, Elijah.
It's a pleasure, man, to have you around here.
Thank you.
Just get somebody to understand. I think guys are calling. Fantastic. It's about Diamond Trust. Anyway, I hope you've seen the ad, isn't it? All right. So to help somebody understand the importance of celebrating the International Child, what are we celebrating?
Thank you, Elijah, again for having me. And allow me to start by saying I'm happy that you, just before this, had a family.
Yes.
Because that's the basis actually of actually
child,
talking about children. And allow me to also celebrate in a special way, though she has left as my mom. And this is a month now since she lasted.
Yes.
And allow me to just pay tribute to her, because again, this is the second show after that.
Yes.
Having said that, I want to say that today, actually, we are celebrating two things. It's actually marking the Universal Children's Day, which is a United Nations calendar holiday, not necessarily like people are not working, but it's the Universal Children's Day. And secondly, we are marking 30 years since the adoption of the Convention of the Rights of the Child. So maybe to answer your question, I should say what the Convention of the Rights of the Child is, which is basically a human rights treaty that sets out or stipulates the civil, political, health, economic, and social rights of the child. This day was actually this convention happened 30 years ago.
Yes.
And the adoption was made on 20 November 1989.
Yes.
That is specifically why we are talking about CLC 30, or 30 years since the adoption of the Convention of the Right of the Child.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it is that we are celebrating today,
Exactly.
isn't it?
Exactly.
So now somebody would ask you, therefore, do you think that really, since we adopted the Convention on the Rights of the Child, that we've started to see a change in the way in which the children's lives across the world, and I want to speak specifically to Kenya, are viewed?
Yes, in a big way.
Yes.
And I'll mention that if you look at the convention, which has in total 54 articles, most of these articles actually govern and guide even the government in terms of local registration.
Yes.
Recently, you heard Matiang'i talk about banning, actually when he was the Cabinet Secretary for Education, banning of orientations. That's one of the achievements of the government in Kenya, basing the decision from the Convention of the Right of the Child.
Yes.
Because Article 31 gives every child internationally and now in Kenya the right to relax and play.
Isn't it? It's very interesting. Is that people really didn't know where Matiang'i was coming from when he was actually making this announcement. It's like, what is this man talking about?
Exactly.
It's been like that for some time now. So you can actually see that the benefits are getting to be seen within the economy, isn't it?
Yes.
I know
and
there's
actually,
yes.
And actually, it will even get better as we move on. But today, I would want actually to look at a different angle.
Yes.
Because in terms of registration, in terms of what the convention gives every ordinary child, every ordinary Kenyan child, regardless of where they come from, regardless of status, regardless of religion, or all these factors. I want now to focus, because all these rights are there.
Yes.
But what we need to look at today is, what are we doing? What is the role of every Kenyan who is not a child in ensuring that these children enjoy these rights? Because unfortunately, you've seen most recently, like the case of the Peter Mogore family.
Yes.
In Nanyuki. You should have expected that this is the person who, at the very least, should have been protecting these kids and actually observing and giving them their right to life.
Yes.
But unfortunately, it's the reverse. So as a country, I want to appreciate the government in terms of registration. We have very good policies, we have very good laws. Internationally, we have UNICEF, who is actually the mandated body under the UN General Assembly to actually drive the agenda.
Yes.
And actually make sure that governments fully adopt and actually practice and use the Convention on the Rights of the Child well.
Yes.
So today I want to say, yes, we are in the right track, but even as we are appreciating the milestones reached in terms of registration, can we for a moment think as adults, because by the convention, or rather by definition, the convention defines a child as any human being who is under 18 years.
Yes.
Or who have not attained the age of majority under the national registration. In Kenya, that is basically 18 years. So anyone below 18 years is a child.
Yes.
But how are we treating them? Are we good role models? What are we doing as a people? I think that's the angle I would have wanted us to look at today, because I think that's where we are failing.
Yes.
Because children, in terms of how God made the world and created each one of us, we actually have enough room and an opportunity to learn and unlearn things. So if you are molded well, if from the very beginning, from the family level, from the society level, at the school level, in the church and places of worship, if we are able to set good role models for these children and help them understand who they are, understand their rights, understand what the future holds for them, I can tell you Elijah will have a much brighter future. But if we continue suppressing their rights, right from the family level, then you can tell we have a problem somewhere.
Yes.
Because I would say again, in Kenya, it's not like we have lack of laws or policies to guide the freedom and the rights of the child. No, we have enough of this. But there is a bigger problem, either in terms of how the current generation have raised their children, I don't know, but we have a problem. It can be that we have, or we are facing hard economic times. I don't think really that's the issue.
Yes.
I think we have reduced the value of life to a level that people can kill their own children.
And that's exactly what we should be talking about this morning, isn't it?
Yes.
I know this morning you saw we hosted Angel and the mom here this morning, and Allyce as well.
Yes.
And she's saying that for her, the way she's looking at it, I mean, she cannot talk about rights because she fully understands what every kid should get, what I need to give them. I know I do understand what their rights are. But beyond that, therefore, their rights are only going to mean something if I bring them up in an environment of love.
Yes.
So this morning I want to ask you, therefore, when you look at the way in which parenting, especially in Kenya, is now, would you say that we are lacking in that area? And I want you to talk to me from the perspective of some of the cases in which we've seen around us. We've seen, and I want to throw you back to a video that was trending just the other day when kids were bullying each other really on social media and pushing it out like that. Did you ask, are the parents aware of this? This is the kind of environment that we need to bring our kids in. The kids are going to learn their rights because it starts from there, and then when they become adults, they pretty much don't know that what they've been doing is wrong because rights begin from that basic level.
Very true.
Yes.
And allow me to mention that it is very true that parenting is very critical, because when you're looking at, or when you're talking about these rights, it looks like it's a big thing, but demystifying it, it's really very basic, because what it means is that the child has been born. And even before the child is born, allow me to mention that the convention stipulates that the child has a right to be born, raised, and brought up in a very conducive environment. And actually, the people who came up with the convention looked at it from a point of a family perspective, or a cultural grouping. Maybe for those who are unfortunate, maybe not to have their parents, and there are quite a number. So what I want to mention is that therefore, when you're looking at the family level, parents are very critical. And that brings in the issue of how well you expose your children. I'm not saying that exposing your children is bad, it's actually very critical. Let them know how the world looks like. Let them know what happens in any other setups, not necessarily just your own environment. Don't lock your children in just the perimeter of your walls. Let them actually even interact with other children, of course, under guidance. And most importantly, and I like what Allyce mentioned, let the children know from the very beginning that they are loved. And beyond being loved, that they are valued. And beyond being valued, that they are human beings, like anybody else, even like adults with emotions. And therefore, they will understand the emotion of love and care. And as they are growing up, they will live with this. And therefore, whenever they are interacting even with other children, they will know that it is wrong to do A, B, C, D because it will hurt this other person. It is good to treat this person right, including their peers, because that is what I've learned from the family level. So what I'm saying is that there is need for more of parental guidance and parental involvement in the children's life. Because unfortunately, Elijah, the current or the parent of this generation is so much concerned with money and work and job, to some extent that at times maybe their parents are not seeing their children even for a month. And even if they are meeting, it's interacting with a goodbye morning kiss or a good night evening kiss. They don't really have any personal attachment with these children. And that's how even the Western case maybe happened. I don't know, maybe the setup these kids were brought up. But like you've mentioned, if these kids knew from the very beginning that it would be detrimental to hurt the other person's feeling, it would be bad to bully them, and especially on online, then at the very least, I think they will not have used YouTube, or rather social media. I think it was trending everywhere.
It was trending everywhere.
As a way of actually making amends. they would have known that if really this girl, I think it was a boy addressing it to a girl.
Yes.
This boy would have, at the very least, gone to the girl and told her, based on maybe how he was brought up, that girl, the way I've been told by mama or daddy, I'm sad that you had me. Yes. You said this and this, but I would want maybe to forgive you because I don't want to revenge.
Pretty much, because
already I'm hurt. I also don't want to revenge and in essence hurt you as much. So what I'm saying is that upbringing, the parenting bit in terms of how we are raising your children is a challenge. Remember also this boy had his own phone that he could record whatever he was saying.
Yeah, there was a phone there.
So in terms of parenting, as much as you're talking about exposure, it is not exposure to the extent of, in my opinion, that you should allow your children everything. I don't think so. Remember, the context actually was beyond the level of actually a minor.
Yes.
We were talking about sexual issues. Because that actually the context the boy was addressing the girl at. So what I'm saying is, in as much as we are talking about exposure, it's exposure to the right
to the right things, isn't it? And in the right way. Yes. Yeah. All right. I know there's an event that you're putting together, therefore, and it's happening today, isn't it? Yes. All right. What we expect to see, what issues are going to get addressed, and what sort of outcomes do we expect after the event?
What I need to mention, Elijah, is that we've worked with children.
Yes.
Actually, we started working with children when I was in second year in campus, and even before in the church.
Yes.
But now I'm talking about second year because that's when we started some mentorship programs with children. I'm calling them children because they are under 18
years of age. Yes.
And these are people who are in high school, from Form 1 to Form 4.
Yes.
And in primary school, from class 4 up to class 8. And we've dealt with quite a number of them. And it was a very good program because we used to involve university students who are doing different courses. Remember, every child, when they are coming up, aspire to be engineers, aspires to be journalists, aspire to be doctors. So we could bring all these university students pursuing these courses. And actually, there were select university students, not everyone, because we used to work largely with the Christian unions. And therefore, what we used to do is give them a platform where they could be mentored and actually be advised in terms of what they need to do to get where they want. So we've dealt with children a lot. And that's why I said when we were starting that the issue today is not actually about the children.
Yes.
Because more or less, in terms of what the future holds for them, is dependent on what we give them.
Yes.
So after that, we realized, therefore, that we need to do more. And it's involving corporates, involving organizations to be more innovative in terms of their product offerings to make sure that these are good and the best possible for the kids. And through that, we developed an awards initiative, what we call the Kids World Excellence Awards.
Yes.
And actually the theme for the awards initiative is excellent products with excellent service.
Yes.
Or delivered through excellent service. So this is appreciating every organization that is producing or offering products and services that to the child they are excellent and improves their lives. We are talking about nutritional issues, we are talking about services, and we have quite a number of organizations that are dealing with children. So we appreciate all these organizations because at the very end, they are working towards the improvement of the quality of lives of the children.
Yes.
And we need more organizations to do this. And this, in essence, will encourage creativity, will encourage more innovation, will encourage more interaction, and will encourage many other organizations to actually focus on the consumer.
Yes.
Who is the child?
Who's the child?
Yes.
Pretty much, isn't it? All right. Just before we conclude this conversation this morning, because I know we've been talking about your event on Metropol TV. We've got a lot of confirmations and also questions around it, which we will try to address in the best way possible. Therefore, when somebody tells you how should I celebrate today? It's like everybody's talking about World International Children's Day, but how should I properly celebrate it?
Awesome. That's a very good question, Elijah.
Yes.
And allow me to mention that everyone should be able to celebrate the Universal Children's Day.
Yes.
And the special way to do this is to ensure that that minor you know, that minor in your family,
yes.
that minor in your neighborhood, at least let them know that their rights are there and documented. And let them know
yes.
that beyond having their rights documented, that they are loved. And let them know that you can be a role model for them. Offer yourself to them.
Okay.
And beyond that, whenever you see, or when you meet a minor today, be it in any place, most importantly, encourage them and tell them that our future is dependent on them. Because remember, Elijah, you're not here forever. We'll grow old,
yes.
and these other generations who will be where we are today. So what you need to tell them is that they need, most importantly, to really focus on the important things in life, which among others are to love and be loved, and to care, most importantly, for their peers and
yes.
their fellow children. And to the corporates, I want to tell them, because largely the event we have today is a corporate event. And
yes.
it's very interesting that we'll be having a young girl, actually 9-year-old, presenting. She's a poet, doing very good, and she'll be making a presentation at the awards gala dinner.
Yes.
So this girl, what I want to say is, now to all these children, there are platforms for them. And to the corporates, like I was saying, you can do much more. You can reach out to the population.
Yes.
You can reach out to the consumers of your products. And beyond that, most importantly, you have a huge contribution. So before we close, Elijah, allow me to mention, now that we have this opportunity,
yes.
that the Kids World Excellence Awards is bringing together the corporate leaders who are offering products that are good for families, that are good for mothers, that are good for children, and we'll have several categories. And I know after this, and even as you've been doing the advertisement,
yes.
I'm sure we'll be doing something for all the winners today. And the event will be at Safari Park Hotel. And I want to thank them again for being the hosts to our several initiatives and events.
Yes.
And it's starting at 5 p.m. And it's not late. Anyone who may be in this industry, who may want to join us, you're welcome.
You have the contacts, and you can actually talk to you directly,
yes.
isn't it?
Yes.
And then after that, the part and parcel of it. Gems.
Yes.
It couldn't be better. Thank you very much for
Thank
coming
you,
today.
Elijah, for
All right, now you do know the event is actually happening tonight from 5 p.m. at Safari Park Hotel. You want to be part and parcel of it? Talk to us right now at Metropol TV. We actually are running that ad on our social media platforms. If you actually look for Diamond Trust, you get it. And then you'll know the details. You can actually get to call him directly. His number is there. Then after that, get to be part and parcel of celebrating the international child. And when I'm talking about the international child, it is a child next to you. Good morning.